first piece, I love when mishearings become beautiful little nuggets. So my friend Ali Koff is a visual artist in Berlin, and he asked me to help him with titles for his pieces in English. He's from Syria and is fluent in German and Arabic, but not so much in English. So I was helping him, and he kept talking about these olive groves. I was like, oh, okay, I'll really think of these different olive groves. But because, and he would say olive in English. Really, we should have been using German at this point. So finally, I sent it to him. We saw these different title options, really visualizing olive groves. And it turns out he meant almond. No, Quatsch, the opposite. He asked me for almond. And I had done all these things for almond, and he meant olive. But in my research for almonds, I got really excited because I went to high school in Sacramento, which normally doesn't excite me. But there are a lot of almonds, and in fact my first job was with the Almond Plaza, my Blue Diamond almonds. So I was like, oh my God, I'm from almond country as well. And I was looking up almonds in Syria, and I came across this video called Picking Green Almonds in Syria. And it was from 2008. And this is what came out of that. Picking Green Almonds in Syria, 2008. I grew under the shadow of almonds, slept in fog and marsh, dreamt of water and fire, the call of crickets, the echoes of mountains. I drove along levees, smelled the rice harvest burns, sang of birds unnamed. I grew under the shadow of almonds, swam in the promise of pink blossom rain, roamed in the luxury of misspent springs. Now the pull of you, the call of olive groves 7,000 miles away, the pain of pleasure almost found. I watch a film of 4 women young, their private harvest of orchard green, hair tied and loose, laughter cascading between bites and waves, the savor of Lol's Akhtar, the wonder of friends still gathered, the delicious ignorance of what will come. Raise a glass also because after 6 years of being here as a refugee from Syria, he just got his asylum papers.
I would like to say some words. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming here. And thank you for Heather for doing all for preparing, organizing all these things. This event. First of all, my name is Raman Osman. I'm Kurdish from Syria, northeast Syria. I've been in the United States for about 6 years and 3-4 months. Actually, this I will say something about the instrument. This is called tembûr. It's well known as saz, which is like in the globally known as saz, but saz in Kurdish and Persian means like the instrument. Actually, this is improved from the original tembûr, which is smaller, less frets, less strings. I've been playing this instrument for more than 32 years. And the good thing about this instrument is very flexible, so it gives me a lot. I can do a lot on this instrument. I grew up. I was very lucky to grow up in a region which is it has a lot of variety, like multicultural. I am Kurdish. We had Armenian, Arabs, Assyrian, Syriac, Turkmen, and that gave me a lot. You know, listening to all this kind of music and then this instrument. This tembûr has 7 strings, 24 frets, and now the Kurdish people play it and the Turkish people. Mostly the Turkish people, they play something called Bourbeau Raman, which is shorter than this, with bigger body. The first piece that I just played, it was on maqam or scale. We call the scale maqam in the East. So we call it rast. Rast in Kurdish and Persian means straight. So, and it's considered like the Eastern major. Now the second one I'm gonna play on minor. We call it Nahawand or Asfahan in Iran. Okay, let's start. Thank you again for coming.
Thank you.
The sifting. A red moon waits to rise as we move from sand to silt to sail, and my fingers dance through river, glassy and green. Cool water, thick algae, small fish, remnants of reeds. We glide past banks where you and I, once young, swam and sought shade, held frogs in our palms, ignored dirt and dust, and swallowed heat. Here my soul was first met, there my thirst first quenched. I cup handfuls slowly, welcome the wet, leave moss on my skin. My head turns to breathe in a fading sun, to hear the nets of fishermen, the songs of thrushes. Lulled and languid, I no longer remember the need for sweet upon my tongue, for cloth against my skin. It will only be later, when my feet feel earth, when the stretch of string is taut and trembling, and your breath is but a ghost, that I will want this moment to never end. And we want to leave you guys on an up note, so feel free to rock out with us to the next one. honey drip of late summer, come tent with tart cherries, warm skin. Rest our worries among old friends, and let our feet read the grass as we dance. Sweet monsters of young dreams, come cradle our fears while we explore crevices and canyons, fantastical visions of children and fairy tales. Arms encircled, we find our rhythm. Hands entwined, we find our joy. Hallelujah, hallowed friends. Blanket our shoulders and carry us to feasts of bread and wine, curry and kindness until we fall into each other. Sweet laughter song of early love, come find us and bind us under a canopy of stars, a chuppah of pine and cedar, an orchestra of insects, and the floating, fading embers of the campfire. Arms encircled, we find our rhythm. Hands entwined, we find our joy. Hallelujah.